All right, the microphone array that we have capturing sound today is a simple 5 close-up mic sound, and they're all dynamic microphones. We have an SM58 on the snare and the hi-hat, SM57s on the two rack-mounted toms, as well as a PV-PVM 328 dynamic mic on the floor tom, and a PV 321 kick drum mic inside of the kick. And I like that about 2 or 3 inches inside of the kick, aimed right at the batter, and that typically gets me a pretty good sound. But let's go ahead and hear what this thing sounds like currently after being cleaned up and put back together with proper drum maintenance. So just for kicks, let's go ahead and compare them against the larger size Superstars. And again, we're not doing apples to apples here. Slightly different era, only by 1 or 2 years, I would imagine, but still bigger shells, different lacquer process, a couple different differences. So I still want to hear what they sound like compared to one another, so let's go ahead and hear them right now. So obviously this set has been played in and tuned up a lot more vigorously than this one, which I just really, I just wanted to get it together and play it and tune it up as best I could without really going crazy. So it takes a little bit of time for these things to kind of find where they want to be on their own. So we'll give that the benefit of the doubt. But having said that, I think that these kits are pretty comparable in feel. I can't say that they're comparable in sound because this one sounds bigger. It is bigger, and as a result, it sounds just a little more this way rather than this way. And I find the 22-inch kick is just a bit more punchy, and this one's a bit more thuddy, maybe, and the smaller toms are just a little more melodic, whereas these ones are just big and brash. Whereas those are a bit more melodic, but I love having both sizes right here that I can just go back and forth and see what the difference is. And quite honestly, they feel like Superstars, and they have a little bit more dialing in to go, but for the most part, I'd say that they are ready to rock and roll. So that's what this kit sounds like. Let's go back to the 1979, quote unquote, 79 Superstars and finish things out. So what can I say about this Tama Superstar set? Number one, I am a sucker for Tama Superstar drums. I love the vintage Tama Superstar sets. I've had 3 so far, and this is my 3rd. And I just can't say enough good things about the sound, the playability, the fun factor. This is a 10 out of 10 on the old Funometer, by the way. So if you're looking for a really awesome vintage drum set that isn't going to break the bank, I think that you can still find these sets for around $1,000 locally. Sometimes you have to get them shipped in from somewhere else. But if you're looking for something like a Yamaha Recording Custom, which I think is very similar in quality and spec and intention, you're looking at $2,400, $2,500, $3,000 for the same exact configuration. Now, I picked this one up locally, so I got a really good deal on it, and I'm not going to tell you how much I paid because it was a really good deal, and I really love seeing these old vintage Superstars come up for sale because a lot of the time people have forgotten about them. They say, oh, those are just old drums, they probably aren't any good anymore. But that's so far from the truth. This set is just as good today as it was back in the 70s and 80s, if not more so, given how much vibration has gone through this wood. And yes, some of that vibration can cause delamination if the layup process isn't 100% perfect. And at this point, I guess it wasn't, so we still have a defect every now and again, but it's only what I would call skin deep in that they separate from the edges. They don't separate from the middle and work their way out. They separate from their edges and work their way in. So if you can prevent that delamination from happening any further, then I highly suggest doing that. All it takes is some glue and some clamps and some time, and you will severely raise the playability of your drum if you can do that. This one, I have no doubts that it will last 100 years now if you so desire. So I love these sizes. The traditional, these are what I call rock sizes, because you can find rock drum sets in 22, 12, 13, 16 all day long. They might not be as good as these, but you can find this exact configuration more often than probably any other configuration, which is one of the reasons why I gravitate towards it. I like how interchangeable 2 up, 1 down is. And that's what I always look for in a drum set. 2 up, 1 down, and it flows perfectly for me. Having the shorter tom sizes rather than power toms really makes a difference in the playability. I can put these right where I want them, and I'm not having to reach all the way up here to play my toms. So that's one of the benefits of the more traditional rock sizes. But the best benefit is that most of the time they sound great. And when you're talking about Tama Superstars, I can chalk that up to pretty much every single time. If you've ever had a Tama Superstar drum set that you didn't like the sound of, leave a comment. I would love to know why and what made you dislike it. So we're gonna play this thing out. That's all I wanted to do with this video. I mean, that was quite a bit. This might end up being a few different videos, we'll see. But we're going to keep going with this set, and it's perfectly restored now, and now we just gotta dial it in and see if we can make it sound any better. So, like and subscribe if you like this type of content. Leave a comment if you have something to say, and hopefully I will see you on the next one.